Greetings. I wanted to share a walnut table my neighbor and I completed just before Thanksgiving for another neighbor here in Northern Virginia. As you can see from these photos of the results, the table and benches turned out amazing, if I'd say so myself. It absolutely began with the high-grade slabs we got from Log to Lumber. Unlike some of the other companies around here in Northern Virginia, they try to trick you into paying full price for something that isn't kiln dried. That said, Log to Lumber has on-site kilns to dry their wood and provide reasonable prices that match. I'll leave a link and contact info for Logs to Lumber below, but don't just take my word for it here. I highly encourage you to go and check out their reviews for yourself. The debarking process you see here was a bit educational for us in that we learned about an irritant within the walnut bark causing your skin to itch and burn as we removed it. You'll see we wore long sleeves here to counter this until the bark was fully removed. In preparation for getting all three pieces to line up together, we used a metal straight edge we had in the garage, clamped it down, and then followed along with a circular saw. These slabs were by no means a perfect book match. You'll see us here going back and forth with a hand planer to finish aligning them just prior to throwing in the biscuit joints. Once the biscuit joints were set and glued into place, we finished here by cutting the ends, making the total table length 8 feet. Now begins the sanding process, which is pretty much just a big long hand workout. Here you go. It all began with a glue and sawdust mix that really came through for us like a putty to make the book match actually work and seat together. We started off with 80 grit and slowly worked our way up to 220. In my honest opinion here, we could have stopped at about 150, but instead we took the time, we pushed all the way through to 220. For the epoxy preparation, key note, we decided to move it indoors to prevent the pesky mosquitoes, flies, insects here from getting onto it or in the epoxy as it settles. Also, we were able to regulate or maintain the high temperature control required for the epoxy to properly cure. We really wanted the temp to be above 78 degrees for this. One of the first tasks with the epoxy pour was to simply cover up some of the holes that tend to lead to deeper air pockets in the wood, preventing less bubbles appearing after the flow coat. Looking back, we should have done an additional seal coat, similar to what you see here where we're just doing a light pour and then pushing it around with the paint brushes. Worked fairly well for us, but after we did one of the first flow coat, we did have quite a few air bubbles still, which could have been prevented with an additional seal coat first. As fun as the flow coat is to see, where you just basically pour out all your epoxy at once, let it flow over the sides, onto the floor, everywhere else, I'm going to kind of prepare you for what you're about to see. After finishing the epoxy in home, we got it back out to the garage and decided to do a satin finish on top. Wrapping up, I understand we really didn't get to cover everything here in the video, but we wanted to leave an opportunity for you to reach out to us. Drop a comment below, send me an email, or reach out to me on Discord.